In 1981, Keith Smith and I decided that we were going to produce a book on the railways to Midhurst. We offered the idea to a number of publishers and they rejected us completely because they didn't like the idea of such a short length of railway, or indeed producing the book on the local history approach that we wanted to make. So I said to Keith, bust them, I'll publish it myself. And this is how Middleton Press became established. And now in Easter of 1987 we have produced our 26th book, and we thought it was the right time to show you how we produce a book, having produced a total of 40, the others being for other people. So we'll now have a look at where the process starts. Photographs, and presents them to me in an album like this. He usually visits about 40 different people in the course of collecting these photographs, and he mounts them on cards with a clear sheet on the opposite page for me to write the text. Now, my first operation is to go to my Railway Magazine index and search through the various years for references to that particular line. The magazine has been in existence since 1897, but I started to collect it in 1984, prior to buy, so my collection goes back to 1934. Well, now, having written the text in pencil, Keith checks it through, and very often we get someone else to check the facts for historical accuracy. I then start to design the book. We have grid sheets here which give the exact width of the page and the position for the columns of text. And so I take the photographs out of the manuscript, and I measure the width of the photograph, which in this case is 190 millimeters. Knowing that the page width is 107.4, I then have to calculate the actual percentage reduction on the photograph, which in this comes out at 95%. So I write the photograph number on the back and 95%, and put it in the box ready to go to the printers. The manuscript then goes off to City Set Limited at Bosham, and they set all the type onto what we call galleys. Now they come back in long rolls of paper, and they then have to be waxed before they cut up. Now Deborah has a waxing machine here which has a roller in it which runs through a bath of hot wax and coats the back of each galley sheet with small dots of wax, which are then impact adhesive when she comes to lay them onto the grid sheets to produce the artwork. The photographs come back from Biddles in negative form, and here's an example of a large photograph, or a photograph that has been enlarged, and this similarly has to be waxed prior to the production of the artwork. Having waxed up what is known as the O's lid, she then looks out the original photograph, that picture, looks on the back of it to see what instructions I have made with regard to trimming off unwanted trees or sky or whatever. And with the aid of this piece of glass, which has been cut to the page width, she cuts off the excess paper and often the excess sky as well, and lay it aside to go onto the artwork. Here's the next photo. Does that need any other?
No, it doesn't actually, it's just the size.
So you'll trim around it precisely page width, trim across the top, pull off the excess, discard that. You'll notice she uses a piece of plain paper underneath each picture so that it doesn't stick to the bench. How far have you got?
Well, 6 to go, and that's 120 finished.
Having cut out the galleys and the ozolids, she now marries them together onto the grid sheets. 3 or 4 photographs to every 2 pages, as I have dictated it. They're just laid out roughly at this stage, and then mostly a date. The maps have to be individually cut to fit around the photographs. Work starts of positioning the pictures and the captions precisely using the light box. The purpose of the light box is to allow the light to shine through the grid sheet, showing the margins and the boundary of the pages, and the work can then proceed accurately. The vertical and horizontal rules enable the landscape trimmed precisely. Also, the ozolid negative representations of the picture. Heading is being now, and then the captions will follow. The merit of the self-adhesive wax is evident here. Much cleaner than paste. Small roller is applied to each piece in order to make the wax adhere the artwork very firmly. Which method of ruling borders do you prefer?
I think the tape, it gives a much cleaner finish.
Right, we see that, yes.
Well, if you get the colours out, I don't know, it's difficult to decide a new ones.
Well, have we got green and orange, or?
No, we've had the blue and red, that was the last.
Yes.
We looked through these. Had the orange for the Brighton to Worthing. Let's have a look at some orange and yellows. The different combination we haven't had. They're a bit dark and orangey, so bright one. I've selected the colours we're wanting to use for the next cover. I do some rough diagrams of the spine and 1 or 2 pieces of the cover and get an idea of what it's eventually going to look like. This is the actual copy that the printers will be taking the photograph from. They will insert the title, the photograph and the barcode here. My 4 overlays. This shows everything that I want coloured in yellow, leaving out the space for the panels for the photograph, the title and the barcode. With all overlays showing through on one another, you should see the yellow in the background, orange lines, black lines showing through, and the white panels.
Now the waxer has to be recharged, ready for the next production. Now, Barbara produces the invoices on the computer. At the end of the month, the statements are produced for about 400 different customers, quite automatically. You notice there's no one sitting at the desk, and the paper is just fed out of the printer automatically onto a big stack of paper on the floor, which is then torn off, and each item is then separated.
We separate the statements like this, keeping a copy for our own records.
One of the opportunities we have for promoting our books is radio broadcasts. Well, this morning I come down to Chichester to do a broadcast on Radio Solent, but of course County Hall, where the studio is situated, is locked, so I've had to go down to the Dolphin and Anchor to fetch the key. It's a case of self-service this morning. We have to unlock the County Hall and then the studio. Well, now, you have to read the instructions first. Item 1, switch on the red power switch to the right of the window. The only radio studio I know that does not go on the air when the red lights come on. If your contribution is for Radio Sussex, oh no, wait a minute, for elsewhere, because it's Radio Solent, press the red button, mark this studio on the panel, this studio. The others, incidentally, are for theatre, Chichester Theatre, assembly rooms, and Selsey, Patrick Moore. Very professional looking studio this, I think. Look at the state of the tapes here.
I'm just going to interrupt you because I've known Beck for 10 years now, and he's become a great friend to us, not a customer, and it's a great privilege for me to talk on behalf of everybody at Middleton Press, and thank you very much for growing with us, and many congratulations on this wonderful occasion for you. Well done. And